Chosen one, block your focus on my voice right now. That lingering chill you can't shake from last night. Acknowledge it, then silence it. I know. The atmosphere has felt like a thick blanket of darkness. Not just this morning, but stretching back into the deepest hours of last night. It's not just quiet. It's like a heavy, expectant silence. The kind that precedes something deeply unsettling. Maybe you woke up abruptly at 3 o'clock in the morning, with your heart hammering, sensing a cold presence in your room. Feeling like you were being watched, even though you were alone. Or perhaps you were hit with a sudden, overwhelming wave of fear or dread around midnight. A feeling of unease so profound, it felt like it was trying to dislodge your very spirit from your body. Some of you might have experienced vivid, disturbing dreams that felt less like dreams and more like an unwelcome intrusion, leaving you with a sense of violation upon waking. You feel targeted, exposed, and vulnerable. The enemy initiated a direct assignment against you last night, for one reason and one reason only. He knows what God has scheduled for you today. It all ends right now by the conclusion of this message. The fear, the targeting, the attempt to dislodge your destiny. But listen closely, because this is critical. It's not ending because of luck. It's ending because of who you are and because of the light you carry. Think back to that moment last night, when that sense of dread hit you, when you felt that cold presence. You didn't know it then, but your spirit was actively resisting. Even if you were just pulling the covers tighter, or whispering a quiet prayer, or simply refusing to give in to the panic, that was not weakness. That was a shield. That specific internal act of defiance made you impossible to remove. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine interception, a counter-assignment activated by heaven itself, scheduled before the foundations of the earth to break the hold of what tried to form around you last night. Stay until the very last second of this message, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to expose the exact dark ritual that was attempted against you last night, revealing its intent and its specific target. I'm going to hand you the decree that instantly nullifies its power, leaving you untouched and impenetrable. And at the end, we'll seal your divine protection with a declaration that permanently breaks every chain that tried to form around your spirit. Do not click away. Your future self is begging you to listen, because if you leave now, you might leave the door open to an assignment that God has already commanded me to close. My name is Zerekiel. I've spent years studying the hidden patterns of the spirit realm, the warfare, the awakening, the weapons most people are never taught to use. And I've walked over 10,000 chosen ones through their moment of breakthrough. If this is your first time here, subscribe and hit the notification bell right now. Not because I need the numbers, but because the next message I release might be the one that was written specifically for the war you're fighting tomorrow. You feel suspended, like you're caught in the aftermath of an unseen battle, wondering if you've been damaged, wondering if your energy has been drained. And in this void, the enemy has started whispering a very specific lie. Listen to your thoughts. He's telling you that you are their target, that you are vulnerable, that because of your light, you're an easy mark for any darkness that seeks to remove you. He's replaying that moment of fear or dread from last night over and over in your mind, telling you that your fear confirmed their power. He's telling you that because you felt it, because you sensed it, that means the ritual worked, that you are now compromised and unprotected. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Isaiah 54 verse 17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." Listen to that promise. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. The enemy's attempt last night was a weapon. It was an attempt to form something against you, but this decree confirms that it cannot and will not prosper. The fear you felt was not a sign of its success. It was your spirit's immediate, instinctive resistance, alerting you to its presence so you could engage your divine armor. You are not unprotected. You are not a target that can be removed. You are consecrated. The heaviness and fear you feel is not the weight of compromise or vulnerability. It's the spiritual residue of a weapon that failed. It's the tension of a cord that snapped, not because you broke, but because it broke against your divine strength. You think the darkness last night had power over you. But let me reframe your reality right now. The enemy's desperation to remove you was not a sign of your weakness. It was a testament to your escalating power and a desperate last-ditch effort to stop what God is about to do through you. Hit the like button if you feel this message arrived at the right time. Drop a comment below. What's one moment last night where you sensed a dark presence or felt an unexplainable fear, and now you realize it was a desperate attack, not a sign of your vulnerability? That unsettling sensation, the one that lingered long after the sun rose, isn't a sign of defeat. It's the echo of a battle your spirit just won. The enemy's greatest weapon against you wasn't the fear itself, but the lie he immediately tried to implant after the attack. The lie that you are now tainted, compromised, or somehow less powerful because you felt it. He wants you to believe that sensing a spiritual attack means you're vulnerable to it, when in truth, sensing it is the first sign of your innate spiritual discernment, your built-in warning system, the divine sensor that says, "Warning, intruder detected. Activate divine defense." Your struggle wasn't against an overwhelming force. It was your spirit actively disengaging from a binding attempt, like a deep-sea diver cutting free from a snagged line. The real barrier keeping people stuck isn't the attack they face, but the narrative they agree with after the attack, letting the residue of a failed assault define their next step. They mistakenly interpret spiritual awareness as spiritual weakness, allowing a defeated enemy to still whisper the terms of engagement. Remember Daniel in the lion's den. The lions were there. Their intent was clear, but Daniel's position wasn't compromised by their presence. His God had already shut their mouths. Your experience last night was not an invitation for darkness to enter. It was an activation of the divine gatekeeper within you, revealing a boundary the enemy tried to cross but could not. God doesn't reveal things by accident. If this message confirmed what your spirit already knew, the chosen one's mantle was written for this exact moment in your journey. 12 codes that decode why your life unfolded the way it did, and what God is activating next, so you can finally step into the life already written over your name. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it won't stay there forever. The first step in true freedom isn't just rejecting the enemy's lie, but actively replacing it with the divine truth. You must consciously reframe the experience from one of being attacked to one of being alerted. This shift changes everything. It changes the emotion from fear to righteous indignation, from vulnerability to empowered defense. And this leads us to something most people miss entirely. The enemy's tactics are almost always a mirror of what God is about to do through you. If he's hitting you with fear around your calling, it's because a breakthrough in that calling is imminent. If he's trying to dislodge your peace, it's because a season of divine rest and strategic alignment is just around the corner. The attack itself is often a perverse prophecy, confirming the very thing heaven has scheduled. Now, once you understand that, you're ready for this. To fully nullify the assignment, you must understand its specific target. It wasn't just your peace he was after. It was your divine imagination. Your ability to see yourself walking in the breakthrough God has promised. He wants to pollute your vision with doubt, with images of failure, with replays of past hurts, because he knows if you can't see it, you struggle to seize it. Coming up, we'll expose the hidden habit that's been feeding this cycle. Stay with me. This brings us to the real turning point, breaking agreement with the false narrative that your past spiritual battles define your future victories. You are not the sum of your struggles. You are the sum of the divine power that carried you through them. Think of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. The waters had to part first. They didn't have to fight the water. They just had to walk through the path God made. Your job isn't to fight the residue of yesterday's attack, but to walk through the path of divine authority that has already been opened before you today. And yet, there's something beneath even that. Many believe that simply declaring truth is enough, but true nullification requires disengagement. You can't just declare, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, while still mentally replaying the fear, still ruminating on the what-ifs. You have to sever the energetic cords that connect you to that old narrative. This isn't just mental work. It's a spiritual act of cutting ties. What most people don't realize is that some attacks leave behind spiritual fragments or residue that, if not cleansed, can subtly influence your thoughts and emotions long after the main assault has failed. It's like the smoke after a fire. The fire is out, but the air still carries its scent. This means an active spiritual cleansing, a decree that not only says no weapon, but also no residue. Hidden underneath that truth is another one. The enemy doesn't just attack, he tempts you into agreement. He presents the option to believe his lie, to fear his power, to internalize the false narrative. And once that clicks, everything shifts. You recognize that your power isn't in fighting the temptation, but in refusing the agreement. It's the difference between wrestling with a thought and simply turning away from it. Coming up, the one thing most people avoid. But it's the key to everything. But first, this has to land. The reason the enemy initiated a direct assignment last night wasn't because you had a weak spot he could exploit. It was because you were approaching a threshold, a spiritual threshold, a divine appointment, a moment of profound alignment that would unlock a level of power and influence he desperately fears. He wasn't trying to destroy you because you were small. He was trying to stop you because you are becoming too big for his current tactics. This is where the real transformation begins. And here's the part you probably didn't expect. The thing that's been blocking you isn't what you thought. It's not the enemy. It's not your past. It's not even the people who hurt you. It's your unacknowledged authority. It's the divine power you hold that you've been hesitant to fully step into, fearing the responsibility, fearing the confrontation, or even fearing the very light within you that makes you a target. You've been asking God to fight for you, when he's been waiting for you to stand in the authority he already gave you, and simply command the enemy to leave. And until that shifts, nothing else will. Your spiritual muscles are stronger than you give them credit for. The only thing preventing you from wielding them effectively is the misbelief that you need more power, when you already possess sufficient power. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and declare this with me, out loud, with conviction. I release every fragment of fear, every shadow of doubt, and every lie that tried to define me last night. I sever every energetic cord that connects me to the enemy's narrative. I declare that no weapon formed against me prospered, and its residue is now utterly dissolved by the light within me. I reclaim my divine imagination and consecrate my vision to heaven's plan. I acknowledge the profound authority already living within me, gifted by the Most High. I am not a target. I am a gatekeeper. I am not vulnerable. I am impenetrable. I am not a victim of attack. I am a victor walking into breakthrough. I step into my unacknowledged power, and I command every opposing force to relinquish its hold on my mind, my spirit, and my destiny. I am aligned. I am protected. I am consecrated. And I walk forward in peace and power into the divine schedule that is already mine.